Hey everyone, welcome back with Bruno Mac. Today we will compare two of the best wrestling games based off of the year 1997. I was originally going to go with WCW vs NWO World Tour, but since Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 is just a better version of that game, I decided to go with VPW instead. Plus, I haven't covered the Virtual Pro Wrestling games yet in comparison, so yeah, deal with it. Anyway, even though Warzone was released in 1998, it clearly was based off of very late 1997 and holds the closest release date to Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. Let's break it down. Alright, so getting started as per the usual, we are going to go over the stats and history of these games. Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 was first released exclusively in Japan by the AKI Corporation on December 19th of 1997. Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, like almost every other AKI game around this time, was only available on the Nintendo 64 console. Unfortunately, I was unable to find any sales records for this title. WWF Warzone had an interesting release cycle. PlayStation fans got first taste when it was released in North America on July 24th of 1998. Then North American fans were able to play on Nintendo's console starting August 11th in 1998. In Europe, both versions were made available on August 28th of that same year. According to VideoGameCharts.com, the PlayStation 1 version sold an amazing 3.36 million copies, while the Nintendo 64 sold around 1.33 million. Despite its legacy, Warzone sure as hell was a moneymaker for Acclaim and the WWF. Both games took a different approach to replicating real-life match pacing. Warzone captured the TV feel of the WWF. The basics start off with a punch button, a kick button, and then a tie-up button. There's also a block button that also executes reversals if timed right. You can dodge from side to side using the back buttons. The meat and the potatoes of this game though is in the ready moves that you pull off by inputting button combos for moves. It's often likened to Mortal Kombat or other fighting games with the button presses needed to pull off most moves. You can pause at any time to see your move list, and it changes depending on what position you are in as well. Some combinations include up down punch or left up kick. When you tie up, you have access to more moves but simpler combinations like left, punch, or kick. The object is to mix up your offense so that you build up momentum from the crowd. Once your momentum reaches its peak, the crowd will begin chanting for you, and your moves will do extra damage and extend the stun time between health bars. If you repeat the same moves too often though, the crowd will instead turn on you and your opponent will get the damage boost. You need to wear your oppositions down from green health to yellow, then orange, and finally red. Once an opponent is in the red, a finisher can be applied. They definitely require a lot of button presses, and for whatever reason, finishers are just not listed in movesets. Once you learn the moves of the game, it really gets going and does a great job of replicating the on-screen action. Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 is the classic AKI style. Tap B or B in a direction for a strike. Hold those buttons down for strong strikes. Tap A to weak grapple, or hold A for strong grapples. Once in a grapple state, press A, B, or press A or B with either up or down for different moves. R blocks and reverses strikes, L does a dodge, and rolls over downed opponents. see down runs and pins, and finally flick the analog stick to taunt. Everyone has a spirit meter that starts off in green. Pulling off moves and reversing boosts momentum until it turns orange. Once full, your special automatically activates and you have around 30 seconds to pull off a finisher in a variety of situations like front and back rebels. There are some wrestlers who have straight combos too. Strong grapple and then press B to start the combo. You can then press up to 4 punch combinations to do massive damage, but any of the punches can be interrupted with a reversal to end the combo. With a special, you get 10 strikes, while in a normal state, you get 6 strikes. Finally, there are boxers and kickboxers that only have strikes and no grapples. They hit fast and hard and are knockout machines. Both games take different approaches to replicating on-screen wrestling matches, and I think they both do a solid job in their own unique ways. Virtual Pro has 4 match options, with 1-on-1 singles matches, 2-on-2 tag team matches, and 2-on-1 handicap matches in exhibition mode. Battle Royal is a survival match with 4 different wrestlers. You can also modify matches for submission matches, tornado tag, and elimination options for 2-on-2 or handicap options as well. Warzone has a few match options with versus, tag team, tornado tag team, cage, 3-way war, 4-man war, tag team cage, and weapons match. On the Nintendo 64, there are 2 exclusive match types, which are the 16-man Royal Rumble and single-player Gauntlet. Some great options, but some of them are unfortunately limited to how many players are joining in for some reason, like the Tornado Tag or the War matches. Virtual Pro definitely has some interesting character models. They aren't detailed, the body parts clip into each other and don't always connect, and they have a very cartoony look and some of the funniest faces I think I've ever seen in wrestling games. There's definitely a charm to it all though. The arenas are incredibly colorful and each ring stands out from one another, despite them all taking place in similar looking stadiums. Virtual Pro doesn't have traditional entrances. Wrestlers start in the ring at their respective corners and taunt while their name flashes in front of them. Warzone has more realistic and smoother models that do a great job of capturing the likenesses of the superstars involved in the game. There is only one arena in Warzone, and that is Raw is War. It's strange though, the stage is purple, pyro is always going off, the Titantron isn't connected to anything, the stage is blocked off by the barricade, there's a lot of empty space behind the barrier with no fans. I think the floor is supposed to be concrete, but it's purple with like a weird texture, and for some reason the turnbuckle posts are super tiny and just stick out like 5 inches from the apron. The entrances are also strange. Music plays, the wrestler walks out onto the stage, does their taunt, and stands there for like 5 seconds while the commenters Vince McMahon and Jim Ross talk about them, and then they walk down the ramp while the next guy walks out. Then the camera goes to the ring, so I guess it skips the part where the wrestlers hurtle over the barricade. Entrances are only in single player challenge mode for some reason though, and the wrestlers start in the ring while the commentators talk about them before the match. As mentioned, we get some pretty damn good commentary from Vinnie Mac and good old JR.
Welcome to the Warzone. This capacity crowd is on their feet. I'm Vince McMahon.
And I'm good old JR.
We have a great match for our fans tonight.
Pound for pound, Owen is considered one of the best technical wrestlers in the WWF.
He's got speed and power, a dangerous combination. The bulldog right back at him.
Oh yeah, it's the Dudester. Dude love, breaking hearts and taking names.
Don't let the dude's appearance fool you, cuz he can take you out. He's not getting up.
He's just a target now. JR, it ought to be a great matchup.
From the bowels of hell, Kane.
This man is a monster.
The bizarre one, Goldust.
You better be aware of the big picture when you're in there with Goldust.
Mixing it up. British Bulldog dishing it out now. Goldust is on Dream Street.
Virtual Pro does not have any commentary. Warzone has a strange roster. You start with 16 of the top WWF superstars around late 1997 and early 1998. There's the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith, the leader of the Nation of Domination, Farouk, the bizarre one, Goldust, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the schizophrenic Mankind, The Rock, also called Rocky Maivia still at the time, Ahmed Johnson, Bret Hitman Hart, the King of Hearts, Owen Hart, the dead man himself, The Undertaker, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, the Big Red Machine, Kane, and finally, the Headbangers, Thrasher and Mosh. There are a few unlockables like Dude Love and Cactus Jack, and some created unlockables like The Trainer, Sue the Ring Girl, and some slag named Pamela. You can use Game Shark codes to unlock Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. Yeah, Warzone is a really weird game if you have not figured that out yet. Not a big roster, but it had most of the stars in the WWF at the time. I usually try to be as objective as I can when it comes to these comparisons, but this time it's impossible. Virtual Pro blows Warzone's roster out of the water with 99 unique wrestlers from a variety of different promotions. None of the wrestlers are licensed, so they may look slightly different than they should, as well as having different finishers and moves. There's WCW talent like The Giant, the Total Package Lex Luger, the Stinger, Sting, Chris Benoit or the Pegasus Kid, and the Man of 1,000 Holds, Dean Malenko. New World Order members include Six, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the Macho Man Randy Savage, the Stuff Buff Bagwell, the Bad Guy Scott Hall, and Big Sexy Kevin Nash. There's a bunch of fictional characters and promotions based off of Japanese wrestling. Neo Strong Wrestling has New Japan talent at the time, Riki Choshu, El Samurai, The Great Muta, and Jushin Liger. Empire Wrestling Federation has All Japan wrestlers like Mitsuharu Misawa, Kenta Kobashi, Stan Hansen, and Johnny Ace. Wrestling of Universe has MMA fighters like Bas Rutten and Volk Han. Dead or Alive Wrestling is based off of FMW with hardcore wrestlers Atsushi Onita, Hayabusa, and Abdullah the Butcher. Local pro wrestling has Michinoku pro wrestlers like the Great Sasuke, Super Delphine, and Jinsei Shinzaki. Finally, the last section is devoted to Japanese wrestling legends that you can unlock. There's Andre the Giant, Antonio Inoki, Muhammad Ali, Bruiser Brody, Terry Funk, Dory Funk Jr., Tiger Mask, the Dynamite Kid, Manami Toyota, and a few more. That's a lot of big names, and only a small portion of the roster I listed as well. Virtual Pro Wrestling has Champion Road as the main campaign. It's simple. You choose from one of 6 promotions and go after their various titles. Each promotion has different rule sets, and each title unlocks a new wrestler. You need to beat one wrestler after the other until you take on the champion, and defeating him unlocks them for free play. Some wrestlers have alternate gimmicks or wrestlers that can be unlocked by winning certain titles with them as well. Warzone follows a similar structure. The WWF Challenge has you choose your favorite superstar and start at the bottom of the rankings. You battle your way up the TV tower until you win the Intercontinental and finally the WWF title. After every match, the rankings change as well for others involved in the tower, which is a nice touch. After a while, you'll have to start doing grudge matches when previously defeated opponents keep calling you out for special matches like weapons or cage stipulations. This is where the famous rants come from. On PlayStation 1, you have the full motion videos that became memes like Ahmed Johnson who can't pronounce basic words.
Ready? What that stupid gonna bring out your face? Cause it's time to meet the real superstar of WWF. And I'm gonna beat you, and no one gonna come save your sorry carcass. Just make sure you got plenty of insurance, punk. Listen up, punk. That little ass body of yours can't possibly deal with the ass whipping I'm gonna give you in the ring. If you wanna step up to the plate team, bring it on. Cause I forgot to take my medication in the morning, and I'm in a real bad mood. If you wanna play like that, there ain't nothing between us but air and opportunity, boy. So go ahead, bring your toys and get a ring. Because there ain't nothing on this earth that's gonna save you from being sad with those other stars. They're a push up. But now, you're fucking ready to get the big dog. Because if you're dumb enough to believe you got what it takes to take on Ahmed Johnson in a verbal powerhouse, then come on. You step right up, baby, and I guarantee you won't be going home.
Farouk and the British Bulldog have no shame in looking down at their lines and their promos.
You're the piece of the trash of the World Wrestling Federation could never be the championship material that I am. If you think you've got what it takes to put the choke chain on the British Bulldog, then think again. When I get through with you, there better be enough of you to scrape off the floor when you feel the wrath of the Bulldog.
What makes you think you're gonna stop me? Like I've said time and time again, there's no holding back this thoroughbred. But since you're obviously too stupid to realize that, I guess there ain't nothing wrong with me kicking your teeth in.
The N64 version just has your rival punch a bag in the gym while they say a random line. For some reason, the scene goes on for like 10 seconds longer than it should though.
Get out of my way!
My bite is worse than my bark.
All in all though, they're basic modes that may not be much today, but are a blast from the past. Warzone allows you to create a few wrestlers. Pretty much as many as you can fit on the memory card or memory pack. It's pretty good for being what I believe to be the first American wrestling game to feature Create a Wrestler. You need to unlock the ability to create female wrestlers, but you can choose from a variety of body types, skin tones, faces, beards, masks, tattoos, clothing options, and accessories. They even have some outfits for characters not in the game, like the Patriot and Vader. You start with a set amount of attributes that you can earn more of by playing challenge mode. You have to choose from pre-made movesets from either the rest of the cast or 4 strange preset movesets. Same goes for choosing a theme, but after that you can save your wrestler and the game will start keeping track of your records and high scores. Virtual Pro doesn't have Create a Wrestler, but you can edit the pre-existing ones. You need to for certain wrestlers if you want accurate attires anyway. You can rename wrestlers, change outfits, and change the colors. Solid basis for later games to branch off and expand upon. Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 has a few extra ways to play. There's 5-on-5 elimination mode where you can choose up to 5 wrestlers for each team and they have to fight one after the other. It's similar to Tekken Team mode in the old games or Squad Strikes from Smash Bros. Ultimate. One-on-one matches occur where the loser is eliminated. Then the winner faces the next wrestler in line. It continues until all members of a team are eliminated. There are also 2 tournament modes, which are League and Traditional Tournaments. In regular tournaments, you have single and tag team options with up to 8 competitors or teams. Single elimination rules apply. Then League mode is a round robin style tournament, also with up to 8 competitors or 8 teams. Everyone faces each other and whoever racks up the most points wins. 3 points for a win, draws net 1 point for each wrestler, and 0 points for a loss. If someone has dominated and no one can catch up, you can end the league early with a mercy rule, or you can choose to continue. If the top competitor is tied, you have a blow-off tournament to decide the overall winner. Warzone's extra modes aren't really more fun ways to play. Instead, we have training mode where you can practice the moves in the gym, and once you test it out, you unlock the trainer. You can also look at the high scores of the characters you play as. Every time you choose a wrestler, you can make a profile where the game keeps track of wins, losses, your win streak, squash matches called blowouts, highest damage on a single move, and how many titles you have. Well, hopefully you've all learned a little bit about both of these games and you can respect both companies for what they gave the consumers. Let me know down below what you guys think. Which is superior? Why do you prefer one over the other? If enjoyed, like and subscribe to Beano Mac for Aki videos every Sunday. Comparison videos come out the first Sunday of every month, so check back the first Sunday of every month. Also check out my other series on Aki Sunday that include rankings, evolutions, mod reviews, and other crazy videos and such. Above all else though, please remember to have a nice day.